Welcome to another day of Lubas Living. If you were with us last time, we tried to find the queen. So I let the hive stay as a big hive. 3 tall. And hopefully now I could get some honey. Get a little smoke going. I have nice smoke and it's burned out on me already. The leaves are damp because it's been raining. Let's see what we can do. Let's just get in there and see if there's honey. Okay. What I'm looking to do is open up the hive, remove the top box, which is just a honey super, because there's a queen excluder between the lower box. When I was in here last time, I noticed that this was full of honey. So if this still has full range of honey in it, I'm going to just leave that for them to winter, and I'm going to take away this whole top super. First thing I have to do is get into it to see what's happening. So it's going to be an active moment. Let's see what happens. Take off the top. This is a top feeder, which I never use. Let the bees do their thing. Look at everybody's getting active. I wish I had my smoker going. Take off the inner cover. You know what I'm going to do? Take the top box, set it aside, and just investigate that lower box. In here is just honey, because it's pretty heavy. So, now, remove the queen excluder so I can get into the bottom box. Now, what I'm seeing is a lot of honey. I can tell because they're just deep frames. I'll pull one out and we'll see if we have anything other than honey here. Okay, so that's open. But this side here, that's just jammed with honey. And that's all honey in this side, except for what's missing. That's a pretty good frame of honey. I can see this first frame here is full of honey. There's a little bit on these here. Oh my gosh. All I know is this weighs about 70 pounds. I'm not going into it. I can see down there right away that there's brood, babies being born. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to run away with this box of honey. But to do that, we have to leave all the bees behind. I'm going to put the queen excluder back on. I'm going to put the honey super back up here. I know there's plenty of honey down below, so I'm going to start peeling these frames out. Right there is a pretty frame of honey. I'm going to dust the bees off. That's a beautiful frame of honey. And I'm going to throw it in this box, and we're going to try and keep the bees away as much as possible. I'm going to replace those frames with other frames that I have here. They're not going to get any more honey in here. It's just I'm not going to knock down the hive. They're not going to swarm at this time of year. This has very little honey in it, and the one side's open. So we're going to just leave it. The next one, that is beautiful. Again, try and dust off as many bees as you can. And in our box, take another frame just to replace it. And keep going. This is the way I'm going to do it this year. Nobody's told me how to do it. I do it on my own. Not full frame on that side, but this other side's beautiful. I mean, this is golden honey. Ready? One more time. Let's get this done. Oh yeah, more honey. Get rid of most of the bees, 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 bees. Everybody likes that, right? Bees, bees, bees. Drop it in the box. Let's keep taking them. This one's capped off. There you go, more honey. Okay, I think we're just about there. So that's it. I'm going with that. I'm going to replace those 3 with these. Even though the bees are not likely to fill them any, they'll clean them out, they'll have it ready, there's a place for them to go. This is a huge hive full of bees. That's it for now. If I'm not mistaken, that's all I wanted to do. What I'm going to do at this point is run away with this box of honey. And what I have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames. You know, you have almost 5 pounds in one of these full frames. Let's see, lots of bees still inside. Here you go, this is a really nice one. I exaggerate, I got 3 pounds of beautiful honey there. Let's move without any bees following it in, because guess what? Bees like to go to the honey, and when they're all stirred up out by their hive like they are, they're going to come and try and get it. There goes one in there. That's a whole lot better than the big dozen I had. Let's close this up. Good. I did get stung. A bee did fly up my sleeve. I felt it, but it didn't really hurt. I'm not highly allergic to it, but my arm could swell up a little bit. It's starting to puff up good now. This is the honey spinner that I have. Here we are in the kitchen today. It's nasty rainy outside. I don't want to do this in the garage because it's cold and damp, so I got permission to do it inside. Doesn't matter how good you are, it's a sticky mess by the time you're done. What we're going to do is spin out the frames that we collected, and I have them sitting here in front of the heater to warm up a little bit because warm honey flows better. Before we get started on spinning and show you what we're really going to be dealing with, because I have some beautiful full frames here, and this is a fully drawn out frame. It weighs 9.5 ounces, but I can tear that. I can take that weight off and take my full frame, and this will essentially tell me how much honey is in this frame alone. And that frame is holding 4.5 pounds of honey. With that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shallow frames and 3 deep. The deep frame, without any tear weight, the frame, the honey and all, weighs 8 pounds, 4 ounces. If I get 10 of these in a box, that's an 80-pound box. So we're going to be spinning the frames. We're going to rip the cap off the surface with these rakes. And you drag this along and it takes the cap off. It's then going to go into the spinner. A stainless steel drum, a tap valve on the bottom, and a cage inside. You drop 2 frames into the cage and spin it manually, and the centrifugal force will throw the honey out of the frame, collects at the bottom, tap it out through there through a 2-stage screen, coarse and fine screen, into these nice little 2-gallon buckets. Works great, so let's get started. Here we go. I like this rake. You just grab the caps and it takes the caps right off and opens up all the honey to you. Come on. And I just put them in this bucket because the honey will still drip out of that. There you go. Beautiful. If that's not gorgeous. A little process, takes time. And as you can see, it can be a sticky mess. Way to do this. Ethically harvest, meaning there's no mass production. I don't get involved with the bees process at all. I don't use any chemicals. I establish a hive and let them do their thing all season long. And then I come in and take some of the honey from them. I left them just as much honey as I've harvested. So this was a fantastic year. As it goes, not so bad. That you don't have to get 100% because if it spins out, I can give this back to the bees. They'll clean it out and get a little honey. So now I take one frame and drop it in the spinner. The thing is, I can only put 2 frames in there. Let's see if I can go long ways on this. That's something. It looks dark because this frame has been used for a couple seasons. It's sort of like a rug. You keep walking on it and it gets dirty. There's nothing wrong with it. There's just a little more dirt in this frame than one of the newer ones. The bees bring a little dirt in, but sometimes the honey's very dark. And that's just dependent on where they harvested. Look at this. Isn't that nice? This fork works great. You just leave the tines right at the surface visible. They could dig in too deep if you let them. Alright. Second side. You have to scrape 2 sides. You have to spin it and then turn it around. Because there is, on this frame, and all of them, they work from 2 sides. This frame had a plastic foundation, a form that starts them. I've had completely empty frames, exactly this, honeycombs. There we go. That's the second frame. About, I don't know, 6 or 8 pounds of honey. Going to go into the second side of the spinner. And I'm going to start spinning this and you can see what's going on. It wobbles. Maybe the large and small is a little too awkward. It's out of balance. So I'm going to actually hold up. I'm going to get another small frame or the large one. I'll go for the large one. And we'll try and balance it out better.
See if it makes a difference.
Not filtered. This is honey from me is raw honey, the best you can be.
Pretty cool, huh?
And just breaking those caps. It's just about enough to let the honey flow. All right, I'm gonna take the shallow frame out. Put the deep frame in and see if we're any better balance. There you go. It's a little better. And then you just start spinning. You don't have to get crazy, but the honey does come out. Look at the wall. It's already starting to collect. There's a lid, these panels, but just so you guys can see what's going on. There's really not a lot of spray. I'll spin it a couple times and let it wait. A few spins like that, we'll see if anything's come out of a frame. It's only starting to empty out. I have to keep going. Sometimes it balances itself out and you can really get going. Let's see if it's starting to empty out any. And it's starting to get hollow. You can see how it hollows out. That's almost empty. Beautiful. So I'm going to turn it around. And you can see this is full of honey here, glistening. The other side was definitely emptied out. Yeah. This side, full. Just keep on going. Okay. There you go. A couple more little frames. The thing is, it'd be nice if this would hold more frames. I got the best inexpensive spinner I could. Who knows? Maybe I'll upgrade. I have a frame that was drawn out and partially filled with honey, but this is good honey, and it's also in a frame that had a natural beeswax foundation, so I can actually cut right through this and cut the comb right out. See, right there is a wire, and that's the only thing. There's a wire holding the foundation together, and I missed it. I should have cut to the wire first, but this is fine because I will be able to open it up. Oh, there's the wire again. I think that's it. And then you can just pop out a natural honeycomb. This whole thing is just 100% edible honey comb. Look at that, beautiful, like this here. Natural, glistening honeycombs. Beautiful, isn't it? So yesterday we spun out the honey frames. Today's the fun part, and it's just fun to watch the honey flow. What's really great is to see if you have any honey. Oh boy. There it goes. And you just let it flow. And it's going to go into this two-stage screen, like I said. The top one's a little bit coarser than the bottom. And I'll let this screen fill up. And then I'll close the flow. And it'll drain through. And I'll keep going. Hopefully I could fill my 2-gallon bucket. One other thing I can do at this time, open up the spinner, take the top off, move the cage. This comes off, the spinning cage comes out. Now I'm going to go clean this in the sink over there. Well, we got that much honey down the bottom. There it is. Sort of ran through. Once again, open up your valve, let her flow. But they bring us this golden goodness. Beautiful amber color. It seems like every year it's a little different. In general, my honeys are darker than what you'll find. It's worth every one of those bee stings I got. You can see there's caps that are still in there, you know, that got spun off into it. That's why you just screen it out. You should get a film of it. Okay, let's see if we can take a peek at what's in here. Crazy good. Slide this one out of the way and transfer the screen over, and it'll really start going. You gotta keep two hands on that. I tilted once and it fell. But that's a nice bucket of honey. Look at that. See, this is 2 gallons right here. So this bucket's just a short of 2 gallons. Honey harvest is done, and the bees are going to settle down for winter. I'm going to still wrap the hive. I put like a little insulation board on and a black fabric wrap. There's a lot of different opinions on what to do with that. I think my technique's been working because it seems as if they survive the winter, at least 50% of the time, which is standard. So come back and see